Hello.
Hello, Sparkles.
Sparkly sparkles.
There we go. Ooh,
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle,
I
girl.
love our music. So sparkly.
Yay.
hmm
It always feels good, doesn't it?
It always feels good, especially those last twinkly, sparkly bits. All of it feels good, but I love that
Gets
just
us right into our bodies. Why don't we take a deep breath and get present?
mm,
Head to our heart, being the moment. Feels so good to be in our bodies. Feels so magical. Enlarge that heart. It ripples out to everyone around us.
Here we are. Thank you.
here we are, present,
I feel like we're
present
getting
and
younger and
sparkly.
younger as we're doing this show. I feel it. Like we're just youthful.
I'll
Speak the truth. Speak it, sister.
take it.
I'm an illusion, and we're just gonna be ageless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean all of our cells are replicating unless they're
Mhm.
using some bad pattern.
Just visioning the self as being just the age, and it's like the best face cream in the world, anti-wrinkle face cream in the world.
Mm.
Yeah.
Present
And
moment cream. The present moment cream.
love
Right?
your fingers. Oh, I love your fingers. It works. It really does work. I love you.
hmm hmm
Like,
Jeannie, what timeline are you in today?
Oh, I had the most fun experience. Right. And this is the fun of the journey is noticing what's different or noticing what's changing, what's becoming more and more magical, right? Like our ageless skin and our beauty. So the other day, I was walking with a neighbor who's a friend and has lived in this neighborhood even longer than I have. I've lived here 17 years. And she and my sister used to live here before I moved here. And so she knows my sister, she knows me, she knows my brother, she knows our whole family. And she was asking me, she was going, yeah, remember when you were over at Anne's house and she had the propeller on the wall and you were living there and your brother and I'm like, and all the details, I was like, they all, and I go, well, I don't think we ever actually lived with her, but the other details you're bringing through all, like they all sound familiar. And she goes, yeah, so when did you move, or what were you doing before you moved here, or why were you there? And I'm just like, you know what, I can, I hear what you're saying, and I can see that these details belong, that they were part of something. I go, but Sharon, I cannot get the timeline. Like I can't weave these into the question you're asking about when this happened in relationship to other things that were going on. I, I and then she was like, oh yeah, and Anne says she doesn't have the propeller anymore. And I'm like, we just used that for staging at one of her houses like less than 6 months ago. She she told you she doesn't have the propeller anymore. and all these things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Sharon, I've stepped into a different timeline. I have stepped into a different timeline. And when in this present moment of now that we were just talking about, when you step into this new version of you, the past and future of that version gets created. So that past that Sharon was speaking about was the past of the other version I had been living many, many years, over and over and over again, until I realized who I am and chose to be the most desired version of now. And I keep staying in that present moment, choosing to be who I most desire to be and living that most desired life. And that past didn't compute in my brain anymore. I couldn't connect with that timeline, even though the details sounded familiar. And then the fun thing is that like a day later, and I just I spoke it, and I was just like, oh, I'm so happy you're still in this reality with me, Sharon. And I was just laughing about it.
You made it across.
Next day, yeah, and then the next day, I started listening to a video of a teacher that I listen to a lot. He's very awakened. And he was speaking about, and he coaches, and he was speaking about one of his clients who he called it stepping into a wormhole. But Tom talks about, stepping into the portal of the new version of you and folding in the old reality, and you just walk into you're the new version, right? And with the past and the future that's aligned with that version of yourself. And I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, thanks for the confirmation, because that's exactly what happened. And I knew it because I'm being so conscious in every moment, choosing to be the desired new version that I am, instead of succumbing to the old story that I'm choosing to no longer be. It's just a choice. It's a story and it's a choice.
So fun that you can just, that's so simple. Like, how simple is it that we could just create a new version of us and step into it and believe it, right? It's that easy. Just
and for me, it's been just being with me in the now. And whereas before I would always be like looking outside, which is fear. And now that outside really doesn't exist. Just the me that I want to be, which is like, it could be anything. It's so magnificent, and it's so yummy, and it's so abundant, and it's so sweet, and so beautiful, and so filled with love and friends and excitement and adventure and color and taste.
Good, right? Just feels good.
Yes. And that's the truth, because so it's all here now, because there's only the present moment. Time is just a tool for us to experience change. And so everything's happening now, and we're everything. We're the all that is. And it's just a matter of saying, now that I'm aware and awake, I choose to be the most desired version of me. And then you walk it out. And everything that comes up that you're like, oh, wait a minute, you just go, oh my gosh, it's just showing me that I'm in my new version. And then you have an experience like I did, where you're like, man, I can't even connect to that past timeline anymore. Like, the details sound familiar, but I can't even connect there anymore, because I have been walking it out consciously, the most desired life. And it's unfolding, right? I'm folding in the past story, and I'm unfolding the perfect desired present moment in every moment.
Love
Oh,
that.
yummy.
So fun.
The outside doesn't even matter. That's the thing, is realizing it doesn't really exist. It's not important at all.
Yeah, it's just it's the past. because it moves through us first and then out pictures from us. So it's the past. It's just old beliefs coming up. And I remember one of my writings, it said, Jeannie, well, I had an experience and went into this deep meditation. And all I heard before I went into the deepness of it, and I don't even, just kind of, I don't want to say disappeared, but just wasn't present, conscious. All I heard before I went into that was, Jeannie, it's whatever you want it to be. And then in my writing, sometime, I don't know if it's before or after that, they said, it's whatever you can believe, conceive, and hold. And the holding is in every moment you hold that most desired version of you. And Florence Scovel Shinn, who was a spiritualist in the early 1900s, her beautiful books, she has like 4 or 5 books, and somebody is reading them on YouTube, and that came across my YouTube, and she said a line that I have been saying for the last few weeks, and this I'm sure helps. I am now expressing the perfect divine idea in my body, mind, and affairs. And I always have. So
brings me into the present moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How does it make you feel when you say that, Jeannie?
That it's all unfolding perfectly, that I am everything I most desire to be, and it just keeps expanding and expanding as I allow that. And it just, as I say that, it brings me into the truth of who we each are and who everyone and everything is. It's that perfect divine idea of God. We are the perfect divine idea of God.
It's the wow, wow, wow.
It's the wow, wow, wow. God only creates perfection.
The wow, wow, wow.
Can we let everything else go and just rest in that one divine mind that we all share of the perfect idea of God?
And setting intentions, I feel like intentions and focusing, into what we're wanting, right? In each moment. It's how we get to choose. And once we attend, there's so much magic in that, having intentions and choosing and desiring and wanting and following that and allowing.
It goes back to episode 13 with Irina, of the shifting for her was this total self-responsibility. Who am I? Right? Yeah. Remember? Jesus asked all the disciples, who do you say I am? Who are you telling the world you are? Who are you telling yourself you are? Who do you say I am?
Yeah.
Holding that. Who do you want to be? You get to choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of creation will align to your way of being, your assumption of who you are.
They're getting popcorn for
right? Yeah. I'm getting popcorn going, oh boy. Yeah. Moving to another theater. This is great.
And by the way, referring back to episode 3, we talked about this Star of Bethlehem for my church's Christmas pageant. There's more to that story. It happened that I didn't even have to build the disco ball out of the existing parts that were found. Someone else stepped up in the church and they just made this more crazy, beautiful star, 3-dimensional, cut out ornate with all these lights. And it looked very Episcopal. And they allowed it to be there in the sanctuary during church and everything. So it even got better. I didn't even have to spend the time, taping and cutting and being all nervous.
Yeah. And because you loved it so much, you loved that other star, you were so delighted. You had your love of the star, and then they created that star for you.
They did.
And then it left because it was making room for something bigger and more expansive and more present, because you said that they're keeping it up, right?
Yeah.
And when you were saying it's more Episcopal, all I could think of is epiphany. It's more awareness, right? It's more of that aha moment where you're like, oh, my goodness.
But you had an inner desire of it just still being the star, right?
Yeah.
That love, and like you didn't believe that it was gone. It was still there, right?
Yeah.
And that's just
you.
that's
New of us.
it's just like us, right? It's just becoming more and more aware of that perfect divine idea we each are, and the beauty and the presence and the razzle dazzle sparkles, letting them all come out and play within you, being bigger and just expanding into more and more of who we each are, because that's really exciting.
It is.
And it's really fun to meet people that are embodying the more and more of who they truly are. And it's just a love fest. It's just so much in that.
And I'm so excited to be on this love fest journey with you guys, you sparkle girls.
Yay! Yay! It's a wonderful sparkly journey.
You shine so bright, you sparkle, you are the light. You shine so bright, you sparkle, 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 sparkle.
Today. There we go. I had to encourage them out.
I love you, Sparkles.
Love you.
Love you. Thank you.